Hi, this video is about a man who warned of the 1929 crash in public, wrote articles for that in the Saturday Night Post, left over $50 million to his heirs. He was given up for dead several times. He personally knew 6 presidents and ran for president in 1940. He made millions and millions of dollars over and over again, much of it using principles that we'll show you here today in the market. And he's probably best known for being the founder of Babson Business College. His name, Roger Babson. Let's move down here. He was the founder of what is known as the Gravity Research Foundation, which is still around today, by the way. And this is a chart, Roger Babson chart, that he published in magazines back in the 20s or so, and it was designed to help find the tops and bottoms in markets, particularly the bottoms, so you'd know when to buy. Now remember that Babson, while he spent a lot of time in the big cities, he did spend a lot of time traveling, and when he was traveling he was often away from real-time data sources. So he did what he could, and he would have to use very, very long-term charts to know when to buy and when to sell. So one of the things he did was he worked with a technique that helped him find the high or low area for the year. And what he would do is he would draw some lines, and one of the lines he would draw was a reaction line, and it would help him find support. Now this here is the FXI, which is the Chinese stock index, and knowing about this much data, he would forecast, where the red bar here is, he would forecast the approximate low, and this would be the line that he would draw. Let's take this same technique in EWZ. Let's say knowing this much data, let's say, he would forecast this area here for reaction, and as you can see, prices bounced off of it, went through it very, very temporarily, and then that was the bottom for the year. From here on, this might have been an earlier point during that year, but this wound up being an entry point that was not broken later on. Let's see this applied in the stock market. Let's say having this much data here, he would be looking for a low. Since you have an action up, he'd be looking for a reaction down, and hopefully it will wind up being in the area of the low for the year. Okay, I don't know if this was the exact low for the year, but it did wind up not being exceeded during the rest of the year, and as you can see, it did help find the reaction area. Now Babson, as far as I know, didn't really look for shorts, so we tested this out and said, well, knowing this much data here, since this was an action move down, would it have found this reaction point? Let's see what the computer says. The computer says, yep, it would have found it right there, and then again here, same resistance line. So that's your longer term. Now there is a way of using this same technique pretty much on shorter term approaches. So for example, let's say you're over here somewhere, you've got this much data, and you're looking to know where, since this has been an action move to the upside, this is a GDX, which I guess is a market vector gold miners ETF, and you're looking for approximately where the reaction line would be, and there it is. There's your reaction line. Prices went down to that area, reversed, and there we go. Let's see this again. Let's see, maybe over here somewhere, let's say this was your high. Let's see where the reaction point would be, because we know that this market has been going up, 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 up. And if this, and prices come down, let's say, do we know that prices are likely to go lower? I don't know. Do we, unless we have something good to analyze it with, do we have a way of knowing with good probability where this reaction point would be? There we go. Automatically drew this for us, and we can see that prices went up from there. And yes, when you have these lines here, these are also known as 0.3s. What happens is they are quite often, prices will go around them, kind of like a weaving action around them. Okay, and that's just normal. Okay, now there's another type of reaction line, action reaction line, that Babson probably did not use. That was developed by a gentleman named Anderson. Let's take a look at that. This is a Charles Schwab chart, and knowing, let's say, this much data here, you could forecast that a strong up move is to come, and forecast approximately where the resistance and support points are. Let me show you. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay, so what happens is you get a zoom through, retrace back past the zoom point. Once again, you go up, go down, you get a zoom through, and then you pull back to where it zoomed through the line, and then up to the next one. And then there's a certain way of forecasting where the prices will eventually end with these lines. So let's see another example of this. Let's see, that's a Schwab chart. Let's take a look at E-Trade. Here we go. This is E-Trade chart, and we'll do is we'll see the same thing here. Say, let's say it was there. There we go. And we can see that prices zoomed through the line at this value here, came back down to this approximate value, and then zoomed up through the next line, and they zoomed through it at this approximate value here, came back to it, right? And same with the next line here, they zoomed through, came back. So if you're a short-term trader, these are lines to keep an eye on, and techniques to know and understand, so that you know what the probability is of what the market is to do next. Okay, and remember, this isn't guaranteed. There's no guarantees in the markets, and wild things happen. So this is the Babson technique. If you're interested, we have a very special course on this, and it covers Babson techniques and the ins and outs of that. What we do is we throw in our software because we want you to have ours, and it's reasonably accurate. And anyway, you can reach us at support@andrewscourse.com, and I thank you very much. Bye.